Hello dear students and welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to talk about some new lesson. Okay, let's see the human speech system. As you see here, we have the three parts of the human body. We have lungs, okay, and we have the vocal cords, which are found in the voice box, okay, or even known as voice box. And also we can see the vocal tract, which include two important cavities, let's say, or two important tracts. The first one is the oral cavity, and the second one is the nasal cavity. We said most of our speech sounds come through what? Through our oral cavity. Through our oral cavity. Okay? And the rest of them will come through what? The nasal cavity. As you see, the lungs pump up air towards voice box and vocal tract. Then the voice box here, which include what? Which include the vocal cords, vibrate. Find the two forms, okay? Think of the elastic, yes, muscle, okay? We think of them vibrate, okay? Vibrate to form voice. And the vocal tract, which include the cavities, the nasal cavity and the oral cavity, resonate voice. And here we can think of the vocal tract resonates voice and creates speech sounds. And this nasal cavity makes sounds, nasal cavity makes sounds as na and ma, which are consonants. And the oral cavity makes sounds as ta, when the tongue touches this area, ta, and da, okay? And here we think of the teeth, okay, at the organs of speech, okay? We'll find tha and the, okay, produced when the tongue touch the teeth. And also we'll find what? The lips, the two lips, the upper one, the upper lip, and the lower lip. When they make this form, okay, this, we'll find sound as pa, and pa will be produced. Pa. So there will be some stricture or obstruction, okay, that make the air be sound, okay, sound form. So the air behind the two lips will make the sound pa and ba, okay, like this form. Pa. We call pa and ba as plosive sounds, okay. Okay. Classification of consonants. We can classify English sounds according to the following characteristics. So we can classify English sounds according to what? The following characteristics. First, voicing. And here we mean whether or not the vocal cords are vibrating. Okay, if they are vibrating, we'll find what? Some type of sound, okay, some type of voice, okay. So voiced sound. If they are not vibrating, that means we'll find what? Voiceless sounds. Also, the second characteristic of classification of consonant is manner of articulation. Manner of articulation. We mean with manner of articulation whether the sound is made with a fully stopped or merely constricted airstream. You will think of this form, okay? So whether the sound is made with a fully stopped, stopped with a full stop, or a merely constricted airstream. Okay. The third classification, or the third characteristic of classification of consonants is known as place of articulation. We should mention the place of articulation. And here we mean with place of articulation where in the mouth the stoppage or constriction is made. Where? In which area? In which point? Okay. In which organ? Okay. The stoppage or constriction is made in the mouth. So when we want to classify consonant, we should mention is the sound or the consonant voiced or not. So is the sound voiced or unvoiced? And also we should mention the manner of articulation and place of articulation. Let's see more about this point. More about voicing. All consonants are voiced except pa, ta, ka, fa, sa, tha, sha, cha, and ha are unvoiced, or even we call them as voiceless. When we say unvoiced or voiceless, they have the same meaning. When the vocal folds are vibrating, the sound is voiced. But when the vocal folds are not vibrating, the sound is unvoiced or voiceless. Here we have a table which explains the classification of sounds. First, we have, for example, place of articulation. When you say place of articulation, here it means bilabial. When you say bilabial, that means we use the two lips, the upper lip and the lower lips are participated in making the sound. Labidental, that means the lower teeth touch the upper lip, as in fa and va, fa and va. So you can see this one. Okay. When you say bilabial, we said we means what? Usage of what? The two lips, the upper lip and the lower one. Okay, as in fa and ba, ma, and also wa, wa. We use the upper and lower lip. Okay, well, let's stop here. Okay, let's study this table here. As you see, this part will find what? The place of articulation. Okay, the place of articulation. Okay, which include bilabial. We mean with bilabial the two lips. Okay, the usage of two lips, the upper and the lower lips. Okay, and here we'll find the production of some type of consonants as pa and ba, ma, and also wa. Here also we'll find what? The labidental. Okay, it's place of articulation. The second place of articulation, labidental consonants. When you say labidental, as in fa and va, fa and va, va, fa. Okay. The third place of articulation is dental. Dental. And here we'll find the tongue, okay? The tongue will touch what? Will touch the upper teeth, as in the, and the, and the, okay? And you can see them here, okay? The and the. And also we have the alveolar. We should classify it, okay, according to the alveolar. Okay, this is according to what? Place of articulation. We have ta and da, ta and da. When you say alveolar, the tongue will touch the alveolar. It's this area. Okay, ta, ta, and da, ta, and da. You should practice these sounds. Okay. Also, sa and za, sa and za, sa and za. So also from alveolar ridge, okay, this is the place of articulation, alveolar ridge. Na, na, also from alveolar ridge, and la, also from alveolar ridge, okay. And we have also the post-alveolar. Post-alveolar, this area here, we call it as what? Post-alveolar, between hard palate and alveolar, or between palate and alveolar ridge. We call it as what? Post-alveolar. Okay. Here we have some sounds as what? Okay. Sh and ja, also sh and ja, and also we have ra, ra, okay, also come from this area between the hard palate and the alveolar. We call it as post-alveolar, okay, or palato-alveolar, or palato-alveolar. So sometimes we write it as post-alveolar, and some other times as palato-alveolar. Palato-alveolar because it's what? Because it is between, or in the area between what? Palate and alveolar, alveolar ridge. Okay. Also, we have some other place of articulation, which is what? Palatal, and we'll find the sound produced from this place of articulation. The tongue will touch this area. Ta is what? Alveolar ridge, and we talk about cha and ja. Now here we have what? The palatal sound. The palatal sound is ya, palatal. That means the tongue will come to this area, okay, near this area, or touch this area in some. Okay. Ya, ya, ya. So this is ya. It's known as palatal. Also we have ka and ga. Ka and ga is our velar. Ka and ga are velar. Ka and ga are velar. Okay, this is the velar. Okay, and ang, as in ng at the end of the words. Okay, so we think of them as we think of it as what? Velar. Okay, so ka, ga, and ang are velar from this area. Okay, velar. And the last place of articulation is glottal, which connected with glottis. Okay, glottis, as in ha, 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 ha. Okay, so ha here is glottal. According to the manner of articulation, here we have plosive, or when we say plosive sounds, we means sounds like pa and ba, ta and da, and also ka and ga. We call them as plosive. Fricative, fa and ba, tha and da, and sa and za, and also sha and ja, and ha. All of them here are fricative. Affricate include just two sounds, cha, cha, and ja, ja. Okay. The nasal, as manner of articulation, we have ma, na, and ang. We have three consonants here as nasals, or described as nasal, okay, consonants. The lateral approximant is la, only la, okay, so known as lateral or approximant. Lateral approximant. Approximant include three vowels, three consonants. Sorry, approximants are three consonants: wa and ra and ya. Okay, so as proximant we have three approximant. Okay, so these are what the manners of articulation, okay, that we can explain when we want to classify a consonant. So we said that we should start with what? Place of articulation, and then mention the manner of articulation, and then we should tell if the sound is voiced or voiceless. Here we can say in English, all the sounds are voiced except 9. Okay, you have just 9 consonants. Just 9 consonants are unvoiced or voiceless. The first one is pa. The second one is ta. The third one is ka. The fourth one is fa. Also we have fa. Okay, and sa and sha, okay, and ha, okay, and also we have cha, cha. Okay, so we call them as what? Voiceless consonants. Okay, okay. Thank you for joining this lecture, and see you next week, inshallah, in some new lesson, inshallah. Goodbye.